Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Well, it's time for part 2 of CollectA's 2021 reveals, so let's just dive right into it. First up is their Deluxe Pteranodon. CollectA has done a good job over the last few years with their pterosaur figures, and this Pteranodon is no exception. It's sculpted in a walking pose, which I absolutely love for pterosaur figures. It makes it so much easier to display on your shelves. There's a lot of detail on this figure. You can see all those fibers sculpted in beautifully. Love the coloration, especially that bright red under the throat. Beautiful figure. Can't wait to pick it up. And next up is the Megalosaurus. It's so nice to see the first named dinosaur species getting some figure love. This figure is a surprise, but a welcomed one. And one thing I noticed, this figure does not seem to have an articulated jaw, which I'm okay with. I've never been a fan of how CollectA does the articulated jaw. I always feel like it takes away from the sculpt of the figure. And it definitely looks like CollectA is getting away from bases. Most of the theropods released last year did not come with bases. Personally, I never minded the bases, but the feet were a little bit oversized, but they look a little bit more proportional on this Megalosaurus compared to some of the theropods we got last year. And I don't mind the head sculpted with the mouth closed. You know, a lot of theropod figures, they always have their mouth open to show all those fancy looking teeth. But this is the way the animal would look like most of the time in life with its mouth closed, other than when it's attacking or feeding. So I definitely do not mind the sculpt of this figure. And lastly, we have the Neovenator. This is another English dinosaur like the Megalosaurus, and this is a pretty cool looking figure. It's nice to see some other allosaurs getting some figure love, and this figure will pair perfectly with the Mantilosaurus that was released a couple of years ago from CollectA. And just like the Megalosaurus, it is sculpted with its mouth closed and does not appear to have an articulated jaw. The one thing that's bugging me about this figure is the pose of it. It's very static and generic looking. Maybe it's just this particular promotional image that's making it look like this, but I kind of wish this figure was sculpted with just a little bit more life to it. I'm liking the color scheme. I like the mixtures of green on the main body, and I actually don't mind the yellow war paint, classic CollectA look on the head of this Neovenator. Definitely a cool looking color combination. So another figure to add to the list that I'm very excited for. I'm always happy to add new species to my collection. So that would do for part 2 of these CollectA reveals. The one I'm most looking forward to out of these 3 figures is the Pteranodon. I think it's an absolutely beautiful looking figure. So let me know in the comments what you guys think of these new reveals. And I still think CollectA has a paddle-tail Spinosaurus planned for this year. It just seems like everybody is fast-tracking a new Spinosaurus for their lineup to have that new updated tail because Spinosaurus is a very popular dinosaur and Spinosaurus sells. Plus, CollectA has always been really quick to crank out new figures based on the latest discoveries. So that'll do it for this update. As always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously and it's greatly appreciated. I'll see you guys for the next one.